Matthias Imhotep here, co-creator and co-host of Deep Disclosure, the new, edgy, and exciting show that's bringing you hot topics and subjects that some people consider to be taboo. But we want to be in the know on such subjects as Deep State, Pedogate, Memogate. What's the inside scoop on Trump draining the swamp? What's the truth behind such things as reevaluation, global currency reset, the dinar, the RV? We will cover these topics and much more. What's the inside track on the new financial system? Cryptocurrency solutions. And even further down the rabbit hole, have you heard of cosmic disclosure and the subjects pertaining to the secret space program and the Earth Alliance? We cover it all here. This is next level information from the insiders on the front line. We're going to give you a triple dose of truth from the financial insights, from the high-level insiders to the galactic inside track from experiencers, as well as spiritual insights. Mr. and Mrs. M speak from first-hand experience. Get ready for an exciting show as we go down the rabbit hole deeper than ever before. Hey, everybody. We're back. It's been quite a while. We've been busy with a lot of things. Of course, we brought you the Seven Seals Summit. That was a lot of fun. I'm here with the divine Miss M.
Hey.
And we're going to tell you about how things have been and where things are going.
Absolutely. It was a wild summer. It's coming to an end. We're quickly approaching the fall equinox. Is it an equinox or a solstice? Is this the equinox?
Fall equinox.
It's an equinox. Yeah. Okay. So I didn't know if there was just one or if there's two equinoxes and one solstice. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay,
anyways,
there's two
it's
of
happening.
each, and they happen in each season. Yeah.
It's happening, which is exciting. I think we had people drumming next door all day yesterday, so I think they might have been drumming for the equinox. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, so we are going to give you some updates. Of course, the energies have been a little bit calmer. This is something that some of us experience more than others.
Absolutely. So what Spirit had said was that July was going to be very intense, which it was. I thought we would have a little bit of a break in August and September from the high energies that were coming in, but I think that might have just been wishful thinking. And the reason that I thought that was because they kept mentioning October as another major energy wave month. So we definitely did have some lower energies, but we still have mini spikes in the Schumann resonance going on. And it certainly hasn't been anything like it was in July and the first couple weeks of August, though. And I think that's more like on the emotional side because of all the planetary alignments that were going along with it. And also, we're coming out of retrograde today. I guess Saturn's been in retrograde for 4 months, and that's shifting the energy as well. So just brace yourselves, because I think October is going to be pretty intense.
In a lot of ways, there's been intensification in a variety of things that we've been doing. Of course, we've continued to work behind the scenes with getting our various platforms ready, working on cryptocurrency. There's quite a few things that have developed in the cryptocurrency arena. We're going to tell you a little bit about that as well. As far as our own platform goes and other relationships to platforms that are done, we're looking at putting elder assets into commodity platforms, and this is a way for us to create new money. That's going extremely well. We anticipate that we will have some trades rolling out emissions so that we can have proceeds to get things done within the next few weeks. We also have more relationships with cryptocurrencies, ones that have already spent a great deal of money building ecosystems, entire platforms. I've put together a website that gives a highlight to all the various technologies that we're going to weave together, and the Divine Miss M is also doing the final editing on that. We're going to give you that address today so you can check it out. And while it doesn't reveal the name of all the companies, you'll get an idea of all of the pieces that come together to make a meta platform, super solution. And so the types of other companies that are doing things have already created gold-backed crypto, their own blockchain, their own exchange is launching next month. We have more than one encrypted satellite phone solution, a new blockchain over, well, what is called as voice over blockchain, and that also enables a encrypted internet connection. And so the new laptop that has been released by the company that I'm now an affiliate of is super secure. And so we're looking at deploying all these things in our massive solution.
Absolutely. And when you go to the website to check it out, I want you to take note of the portion that speaks about backing our coin with land assets, because this is something amazing that our dear friend and partner TJ came up with to help us implement all the healing centers across the world that everybody wants to build. So when we set up our database, we had an overwhelming amount of proposals for healing centers. And while they're definitely much needed, upon doing research around these types of businesses and ventures, oftentimes within 5 years, these kind of projects fold. And so we needed to figure out how we could maintain, sustain, and justify spending money on all of these properties and creating these centers that are really only going to service a few people a year, of maybe a few hundred people a year, because each one of them can't process that many people. So we need to figure out how can we do this, because we believe this is a legitimate proposal and a legitimate desire to help others, but we need to figure out how to make it work. And so by tying them to our coin and using the land and the properties as assets to back the coin, we can also generate funds to help maintain the properties, to develop the properties if that's required, and sustain these projects and allow for you guys to be the stewards of these places. So we're helping people by creating these centers, and also by creating financial freedom with our coin. So I want you to check that little piece out. And if you are one of those people that submitted a project proposal based on a healing center, we've stated that we weren't sure how we were going to roll these out or when these particular ones could be funded. However, the tying them to our coin allows us to do that in a much more rapid fashion than we would have been able to do it previously. So that's very exciting. Thank you, TJ, for the amazing idea. And thank you, everyone, for proposing these healing centers.
Yeah, and a big thanks to everybody that submitted their projects. We do have over 750 so far. And thank you to everybody that contributed their time, as well as our other technicians behind the scenes that are helping to make the websites possible, and the reviews and reports necessary to prioritize and categorize all that information. We definitely have had more people join the cause pertaining to the crypto. And so it's interesting because we have a benefactor who has a lot of money, a lot being well beyond hundreds of millions. And those plans that we have are being reviewed by this benefactor and it is the desire of this person to back crypto with her gold, and also to have solutions for everybody being able to get their projects done. And so what we're doing is looking at how other platforms can be created to create more new money, as well as tying together all of the people that we have working with crypto so that we have solutions that are accepted by central banks. In fact, there's going to be a meeting taking place this week that takes one of the cryptos to the top of a country for review and approval to be the accepted solution across that country. So once that is solidified, we will tell you more about that. But it's very exciting to see all these people come together, working together, aligning their dreams and visions and intentions with workable solutions. And that's just like what Miss M was saying. You know, if we collaborate, we can move further faster by not having so much overlap.
Absolutely. Very excited about everything we have going on.
Yeah, so we're going to have news about money being released for solidifying a lot of the initial things that we're doing with systems. We have other people behind the scenes building encrypted ways to move money. So the team has grown, and all of these pieces are finding their way to the middle. And so while it has taken certainly a lot longer than we ever hoped, we did continue to run into various forms of opposition and interference, because we still tried to go through some of the normal channel stuff. But it's obvious that there are eyes and ears on everything we're doing. And so the crypto solution and the other encrypted technologies that we've discussed, such as devices, deploying that through all of our team members so that we can continue to build these things and create a decentralized system is paramount. And we're doing all these things. And thank you for your support and your patience. We've definitely been working behind the scenes, literally around the clock, to put all these things into play.
Absolutely. The work never stops, but it's always exciting, and we're so grateful to be able to do it.
So let's look at some other things that are going on with the galactic updates and the types of things that Miss M has indicated would happen. Do we have any things that you forecasted or the galactics forecasted that have come to pass?
Well, let's start off with one that's come back up today.
All right.
So while it was about a year ago, actually, that I predicted this, and it was during a reading with one of our Canadian listeners, and I saw a scandal coming up around the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, which we did see happen. He was caught up in a scandal around finances in his country, so that was a pretty big thing. It seemed like he was taking some sort of corporate payouts. I can't remember exactly the details around it at this point, but you can look it up. So today, something new happened around Mr. Trudeau. We see him being caught up in what they're calling a brown face scandal. So some pictures have surfaced of the Canadian Prime Minister wearing what they're calling brown face because he's dressed as Aladdin. It looks like a themed costume party that he's attending. And this could be very damning for the Prime Minister, especially since we're coming up on the Canadian elections in October. So Spirit had said he would be caught up in a scandal, and that scandal would either lead to him no longer being the Prime Minister by being impeached. I don't know if Canada has that, or something similar to that, or just simply not being reelected. So these two things, I think, may be major problems for Justin Trudeau going into this next election. I don't know that he'll succeed with these things on his back. So That's one thing. Another thing that came through, and this is something that I channeled back in August, I think it was the 19th of August. They were talking about new leaders emerging around the world, and other countries getting their version of Trump, shaking things up. And they specifically mentioned a new leader rising up in Italy, and that this leader in Italy that would rise up would help to dismantle the EU. A couple days ago, I saw a posting about a gentleman named Matteo Salvini, who is a right-wing politician in Italy who is rising into power, and he's vowing to regain power and dismantle the EU. So there's another one that's happened. Now, another big thing on the geopolitical arena that keeps popping up when I'm channeling and or meditating is what's going on in Hong Kong. So I saw this video of these Hong Kong protesters singing Do You Hear the People Sing, which is a song from the musical Les Miserables. And it's a musical about the French Revolution, if you don't know, if you've been living under a rock. But it's, I just got chills through my whole body watching them sing this song, because we're witnessing firsthand these millions of people standing up and fighting for their freedom and fighting for democracy in Hong Kong. And they made their first victory when they shut down the extradition policy that would extradite them to China for crimes committed in Hong Kong, which was the first step to their liberation. So Spirit continues to tell me that this is a major movement. This is a major step in the liberation of the entire planet, and that the Hong Kong people will be successful in gaining their own freedom and their democracy, and that it will set off a chain of events that helps to have democracies rise up all over the globe. So we're seeing that happen. With the movement that's happening there. They also indicated that China will make a humanitarian mistake in dealing with this issue, and that will lead to some trouble for China, which will begin the end of communism in that country. So this is what they're saying. Now it's pretty out there, or it's a pretty big leap. However, everything that they've told me in the past has come to fruition. So we may see this begin in the next few months here. And I think whatever is going on in Hong Kong is very important to the liberation of the entire planet. So that's an exciting thing. They also indicated that the fall of Maduro would coincide with major victories against the oppositional forces, against the cabal, or the we always call them the opposition when I'm channeling, because that's just how I think that's how they come through. Someone pushing through in the other direction. So they said to watch for that, and we're seeing some changes happening down in Venezuela, because we had Trump enact an embargo against that country, and then their assets were frozen. So we know they're already having some financial issues, and cutting them off from the money that they're keeping afloat with is certainly moving closer to the Venezuelans regaining their freedom from the socialist dictatorship that they're living under right now. So that's exciting to see. Another thing that they've mentioned, now they mentioned there would be a public arrest, and a very public arrest that had to do with the, let's say, pedophile rings and human trafficking that's been going on in this planet. And we saw that happen over the summer with the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the details around his death or not death are still unclear. However, what Spirit is saying about it is that he will, regardless of him being alive or dead at this point, this has brought this topic back into the mainstream. It's forcing the mainstream to acknowledge it And there were depositions, there are witnesses, there are victims coming forward. And so the Epstein scandal is far from over, and a lot of people are going to get tied up into it. So that's another thing that's going on politically and in the movement for the planet. So I'm excited to see that happening. I'm excited to see some shifting and changing going on, and some movement happening in what has up to this point been a conspiracy theory to most people. So that's an exciting thing. They've also indicated more strange weather. They did predict 2 big hurricanes this year. We've already seen one of them. I don't know if another one will pop up, but I know that we're not at the end of hurricane season yet. They've also talked to me about timelines, and this one I found kind of interesting.
Me too.
So they talked about timelines, and they said that there are parallel timelines going on, right? We know that. But there are 2 running almost parallel to each other right now that are very similar, just not very much difference between the 2 timelines. They said that the fact that these are so close together and running parallel to each other right now is causing for people to have really intense dreams, because we're hopping from timeline to timeline. But those dreams are also allowing us to work through stuff, which is good, because we want to let go of as much of the emotional baggage as we can moving forward, so that we can open ourselves up to more consciousness and really enjoy our incarnations here. So it's good that we have this opportunity to work through things. It's also causing a little bit more deja vu to go on. So these feelings of prolonged deja vu, walking through your life and feeling as if you've done this before, that's happening more intensely because of these 2 timelines that are running so closely together. Said eventually these will collapse into each other, eliminating one of the timelines as the optimum timeline wins out. So that's very exciting. And I can't think of anything else off the top of my head right now.
Well, that's quite a list you have there. I always love when they come true, which they always do. And so we'll see which one of these happens first. I also like the fact that in the news, I don't know how many people actually watch. I, am one that stopped for a long time. But then when it became obvious that things were happening around deep state, and that there was fake news and the like, because Trump had Fox News come to the tower there before he became president and offered basically to make them the prominent news channel of what's going on. It's clear that they're telling more of an accurate story about what's happening. And, it's very obvious that the opposition is running their narrative and continuing to try to brainwash people. And so, we see it becoming ever the more so obvious that this is going on and it's about to come to an end. So as that does, we'll have much more opportunity to do the kinds of things that we've been planning and preparing for. We won't have to work as clandestine, and we can come out more with everything that we're talking about. But the things that are set in motion for freedom and revolutions and all these things that are happening around the planet definitely embrace a decentralization, and that more people have their freedom. More people can have a bank account within a system that doesn't control, because the control factor is anytime they want, they can take your money, stop what you're doing by interfering with your bank account. And so the beauty of having a decentralized system, people like us, people that are making change, they can't be interfered with. The other way that they interfere is by shutting down communication. And so one of the cryptocurrencies that we're looking at funding and working with right now also has another aspect to improve communication, so that no movement can be shut down. We can maintain our channels of communication and move forward. So these are really important things, obviously, until such time that the swamp has been fully drained and all the deep state is not in charge the way they have been. We have to continue to work through these back channels.
Well, we're seeing a lot of the light worker community and the alternative media and the awakened people's mindset and agenda colliding more with what's going on in the mainstream because of the awareness that this current political climate has brought to what we're seeing happening with big tech. So that's another interesting thing, is that now a lot of the right wing are behind new media and technology platforms because of the fact that they're being silenced and censored. And so they want a better option. So some of our things that we've been working to create in this community are now taking the main stage through what's going on. So you're seeing some big stuff happen with Facebook and some of the other big tech platforms that are now starting to feel some consequences for what they've been doing and censoring people, which is not okay. So it's great that that's happening now. Also, speaking of Fox News, I saw a video recently of some Navy personnel acknowledging that there are UFOs. So this is happening on Fox News, which I don't think we ever would have seen a story like this 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Well, that similar story broke on CNN too, not that long ago. So it's definitely a sign of the times.
Yeah. And I think it's important to look and notice these little things, because it can become frustrating not seeing change as quickly as we all want to see it. But we have to celebrate those little victories along the way. We have to recognize change is happening, and it is happening pretty rapidly. And there was another thing that Spirit had said to me, and this I found kind of moving, was that we're at the end of a liberation simulation here on our planet. And they showed me the planet in golden flames. And the other thing that they said was that revolution is necessary for evolution. It's a necessary component of evolution. And so while things seem pretty crazy, and while things seem pretty divided and separate, these two camps pushing up against each other with their warring ideologies are creating a spark and a catalyst for change. And so as much as we can, we hold on to our own truths and what we know to be true about the experience we're having, and let go and just allow for these things to happen, because they're creating change. So we don't want to put any energy into creating more friction. However, we don't need to control it, because it's actually going to work towards changing the planet in a positive way. So nothing is to be feared. This is all a part of the process to gaining our true freedom.
Yeah, the tsunami of consciousness is definitely sweeping the planet. More and more people are becoming awake and aware and embracing a truther movement. So this is exciting. I've been having my finger on the pulse of this awakening movement for a few decades, and I definitely have seen the scales tip. And you just take a look at your social media threads. There's so much more consciousness than ever before. It's really exciting to witness.
So that's about all I have for today's update. Do you have anything else you want to add, Matthew?
Well, just to follow up, I'm super excited about the movement that we're making. You know, we do have more than one sovereign bank that's getting kryptonized and backed by gold, and all these exciting things that we'll report on more next time. Not sure when next time will be. We'll try to do these more often. We're real busy with the Seven Seal Summit and then things that also needed attention. So we hope to bring you updates more regularly. The other thing is I'm working on another 7th Seal video that is very next level, pertaining to the synchronicity and how that energy, when you embrace it, changes your life, let alone that the activator, the seal itself, has shifted a lot for many people. I'll continue to get updates about how that has changed people's lives. Of course, on the 22nd of the month, we do our global meditation, tapping into a crystalline grid that is infused with the 7th Seal. So do check that out. You can find out more about that on deepdisclosure.com. And then, as many of you know, you can find my videos at Mithras Imhotep when you put a / on YouTube, or just search for it. And I think it's also important to follow up with, we mentioned our crypto. We want you to understand that we were waiting for the right time to release that. And so you're going to find out a little more about that at our website. And so we've called our coin, and we've bought all the necessary domains, to seize the corner of the market on a terminology called Gaia Coin. And so Gaia Pay, you'll learn more about at omnifysystems.com. And so please take a look.
And of course, if you would like to schedule a reading with me, you can visit divinemsm.com. That's divinemsm.com to get my contact info and request a private session with me.
As I mentioned, you won't see the names of companies that we're partnering with yet, but one of them that you can find out more about that we are endorsing is this company called Carrot Bars, and you can find more out at my website because I am an affiliate, and that is at goldenageactivation.com. And there's just so much that I could say about the ecosystem that this company has built and how they're putting gold in the hands of nearly anybody that can afford even $5. And so
we're very excited about this company. And there are a lot of people out there claiming to have these things. They actually have built them, and they're operational and absolutely fascinating. And the people behind the company are just in perfect alignment with our spiritual vision and our desire for freedom for everybody on this planet. So very excited to be an affiliate of this company.
Well, the other thing is that you can actually have gold in your hand. For those that want to diversify your portfolio, you may already know that it's not easy to acquire a stack of gold. You have to, buy a certain amount, and this company has made it possible for you to just pick up mini bars, smaller amounts, very easily. And so I have some coming in the mail to me, and I love the frequency of gold. Can't wait to receive it. And this is something I've become very excited to talk about. And so you definitely can write me with any questions, or many know that you can reach us by a variety of ways, of course. And so we're not going to put down a list of that, but we're here to be of assistance in any way that we can.
So in closing, I would just like to say, if October is going to be anything like July was, if not more intense, because we've been seeing a buildup of these energies, then just brace yourselves, be ready for this. And also have patience with one another as emotional stuff gets brought up. Be compassionate with each other and try to ground yourselves and be your best selves during these intense energies, because we're all going through this together and we can all support each other. And remember that love trumps everything.
Indeed. I probably should spell Omnify Systems so that at least you can check that out. That's OMNIFI systems.com. And there you'll find all the exciting technologies that are being woven together for a super global platform, a system that'll be able to handle high transaction volume, be super secure, and bring a lot of leading ed tech that will bring us into sort of a Star Trek phase, if you will, of a brand new Earth grid with entirely new ways for accessing the new internet. So check it out, and we will look forward to sharing with you again.
So this is the Divine Miss M, and this has been another installment of Deep Disclosure with Matthias Emotep. We are signing off.
Carry these vibrations with you through the week, and we shall see you next time on Deep Disclosure.